Story 1. It is my responsibility. I get up because people depend on me, and I do not want to fail them. Story 2. Reminds me of a joke. A man goes to the doctor. I have a problem, he says. Every morning at 6:15 I pee like a racehorse. The doctor says that is normal at your age. No prostate issues. What is wrong with that? Well, at 8:15 I take a huge bowel movement, the man says. That is also normal, the doctor replies. Why are you telling me about all these problems? You do not understand, doctor, the man says. I do not get out of bed until 9 in the morning. Story 3. A full bladder, a cat demanding food, or most often both. Story 4. My noodle-like little cat is a hungry boy and will starve without his morning churu. Story 5. My son is autistic. I have severe depression and do not care about myself. But he keeps me going and motivates me to get up, go to work, and cook. Story 6. I feel like I have been given a second chance at life, and this time I can live it the way I choose. That is my reason for getting out of bed. Story 7. Duty. We have 3 disabled children. The youngest can no longer change his own position during the night. My wife cares for him until mid-afternoon. I take over for the night and usually get up between 2 and 3 in the afternoon to relieve my wife. Story 8. My dog is disabled and requires a lot of care. If I do not get up and help, she will begin to suffer from entirely preventable problems. Story 9. My dachshund Murphy wakes me when he is ready. He keeps pawing me, kissing me, growling, and pulling my hair scrunchie until I get up. Story 10. I have to get up to care for and feed my 2 14-year-old Bombay cats. If I am not up by 6 o'clock in the morning to feed them, they get on the bed and scream at me until I get up. They are very needy. Story 11. A child, a satisfying job and hobbies. Also my inner voice saying do not be a bitch and that it is not that hard in 2025. Please do not judge my inner dialogue. Story 12. Having to urinate every 4 to 5 hours is annoying. Reaching the same age as older adults is unpleasant. Story 13. Chemicals in my brain tell me when I have had enough sleep and how much urine is in my body. Story 14. I am pregnant, so I wake up because either my breasts hurt or I am extremely hungry. Laugh out loud. Story 15. I am curious how the day might surprise me, and I have the feeling that I am moving just a little bit closer to something meaningful, even if I am not always sure what that is. Story 16. The neighbor's small dog barks at unsociable hours. Story 17. Bladder first. I need to brush my teeth because I feel like a trash can when my mouth is not clean. Why do I get up? At best, I move to my chair in the living room, play God of War, eat pizza, drink beer, and masturbate. Then I watch 3 episodes of BoJack Horseman and call it a day. Story 18. I'm a single parent. My entire day is filled from start to finish. If I don't work, I don't bring home money and I don't stay sane. I hardly have time for anything, but that's life. I'm finally moving into a new home with a huge kitchen. I worked very hard for it. My kids are happy and have everything they need and want. I'm doing well. Story 19. I am angry because I was lying in bed for too long, and now I will have a headache for the rest of the day. Story 20. I have 3 cats. One is the spokesperson. I do not need an alarm clock. We get up around 5:30 a.m. every day so they can eat and drink, and then they supervise me while I bathe and dress before work. They are mostly benevolent overlords. Story 21. Money. I won't lie, life has made me its employee, and I clock in every morning. Besides, my bills don't believe in rest days either. Laughing my ass off. Story 22. My dog has learned that if he stands next to my bed and flaps his big ears, it wakes me up. Story 23. If it is not the 3-year-old waking me, it is the cat, my bladder, or my alarm reminding me to take my other child to school. Story 24. My puppy is crying to go pee, or my alarm clock for work. Story 25. Although I am still alive, I have a lot of trouble getting out of bed in the morning. Story 26. Lately life has been rough, and I am going through a period when I do not want to get out of bed. My dog needs to go out and do her business, so I have to get up early whether I want to or not. Story 27. The sunlight. My bladder. Then I look at my bank account and at myself in the mirror. I do not like what I see. It varies from day to day. Story 28. In my 20s it was cocaine, to be honest. Then I had children and matured. Story 29. What gets me out of bed every day is the idea that I still have things to build. Sometimes it is motivation, discipline, or the responsibility to keep going. There is always at least one reason, however small, that reminds me I am still on my way. Story 30. I have 4 children. Even if I wanted to stay in bed, that seems unlikely to happen. Story 31. That's a difficult one. I think it's because I need to eat. Story 32. One or more of my toddlers. I just want to sleep in a little. Story 33. The woman I sleep next to wakes up wanting a mouth full of cum. Who am I to deny her? Every morning at 6:45, I personally make her breakfast. Story 34. My cat needs his morning treats, or he will not stop yelling at me. Story 35. The cat and I need breakfast, and I need my morning tea or coffee. My first son gets upset if I sleep too late. Story 36. What else are you supposed to do? You wake up, grind your teeth, and go on with your day. Story 37. A desire for fun. Golfing, hiking, biking, umpiring youth baseball, and boating. Every day has something. Story 38. The small hope of having my own place and feeling secure one day. Story 39. I will not have anywhere to put that bed for long if I do not get up. Laughing out loud. Story 40. Well, tomorrow I need to get my 18-mile run in early. Story 41. Hunger, poverty, and the responsibilities that don't wait. Story 42. Weekday classes and weekends when I am not sleeping. Story 43. I have school in an hour, an exam, choir, and a concert. Story 44. For me, it's pretty much all of the above. I need to go to the washroom. My cat is pestering me to be fed. I need the money, and if I don't go, I will not get paid. Story 45. I work 4 days a week. On the other 3 days, I play a mix of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous and Expedition 33. Story 46. It is either my bladder, one of my cats, or the dog that sleeps with me. Story 47. My cats. Yeah, I'm coming to feed you. Move. Aside. I pet each one individually and tell them good morning. Story 48. Emails let me know I have upcoming bill payments. Yeah, I should probably do something about that. Story 49. First I need to use the bathroom. Then I want coffee. Finally, the dog needs to go too, so out the door we go. Story 50. I am catching up on some video games before my 2-year-old wakes up. Story 51. I need someone to feed the cats because I am not home at the moment and they are hungry. Story 52. I need to go to the bathroom. Sometimes my cat meows. Story 53. I got a job with a schedule of 4 days on and 4 days off. That is work-life balance. I also get paid more for working half the year. Story 54. Immediate answer. My cat. She is insistent that she is starving, cute, and persistent. Some cats also have bilious vomiting syndrome, where if they do not eat for 12 or more hours, they will start throwing up bile and other stomach contents. This is partially my fault because I normally feed her around 4 p. I should really wait until about 6 p. Which might let me sleep a little later. Luckily, I have a very small apartment with all hard floors, so if she makes any messes on the floor, I can immediately get up and wipe them up with Clorox wipes. Less immediate answer. I have bills to pay, so getting up and being a functioning adult helps me keep my job and pay my bills. Story 55. My German Shepherd Loki stirs as soon as he hears my eyelids open. Story 56. I do not get out of bed every day, but if I had to, I would say the bathroom. Story 57. My husband and children need me to make their breakfasts and lunches, and to help them get ready for work and school. Story 58. A cat yowling in my face. Her happy dance when she is fed. I have to work to buy the food. Story 59. My persistent beagle stands on me until I get up and feed him. Story 60. My eyes pop open. No alarm. I just wake up. It is called getting old. Story 61. I have to pee a lot, knowing that my car loan is almost paid off. Story 62. What gets me out of bed every morning, even if I don't want to, is that life waits for no one, including me. Story 63. A stupid alarm clock that goes beep every morning. Story 64. Video games and books. My roommate is leaving in a few months, probably. Story 65. My car loan is through Citizens Bank auto financing. I did not get up, and the repo man stole my car. Story 66. I use my legs and a little help from my arms and elbows to push my torso up. Story 67. My baby cries when she needs to use the bathroom, when she is thirsty, or when she cannot sleep past 8:30. Story 68. I am my family's breadwinner, so I need to provide for them. Story 69. What gets me up is the hope that one day I will see my daughter again. Story 70. Sometimes I roll onto my right side and suddenly wake up in pain. I realize it is my bad side and that I immediately need to use the bathroom, brush my teeth because it is gross, take the dog outside, and drink coffee. Story 71. My cats are terrorizing each other because they want me to get up and feed them. Story 72. My animals and my school are important to me. I have severe depression, but I am trying to do something meaningful with my life. Story 73. My cat is adamant that I feed him at 5 a.m. He becomes loud and aggressive if I do not. Story 74. If I stay in bed too long, I feel that I will allow myself to become depressed. Story 75. My mattress is old. If I stay in bed for too long, my back hurts all day. Story 76. It's frustrating to have to get up to pee after my bladder has already called timeout twice during the night. Feels like I'll never know the ending of my dream. Story 77. Life itself. Some harsh experiences have made me appreciate it deeply. Story 78. The possibility of discovering my new favorite song and knowing that even if I cannot find anything else to feel good about, I will be able to appreciate the beauty of music. Story 79. My dog fears being homeless and is sometimes hungry. Story 80. I have a great morning routine that I look forward to. I have to get up and go to work. Story 81. 3 dogs and 7 cats. The dogs are mine. The cats are his. My 7-month-old, 70-pound puppy boss wakes me up every morning. Story 82. I get out of bed every day, Monday through Saturday, at 2 a.m. I have a job to do. No exceptions. Story 83. Needing to pee or make food before fainting can get me out of bed. Story 84. To be honest, right now I really do not know why I wake up every day. Story 85. My inner indentured servant. I have to get up and make money for someone else. Story 86. If I do not go to work, I will lose my house and become homeless. The sad part is that this does not seem so bad in the grand scheme of things, but I would feel terrible about my family worrying about me. I feel trapped in depression. Story 87. My bladder wakes me up much earlier than I want to. Story 88. Every morning I wake up to my pets' cute little faces, and it feels like Christmas morning. Story 89. I have 4 parrots to care for and currently 3 wildlife babies. Why did I sign up to be a carer? Story 90. My cat is licking my ears and tickling my face with her whiskers. Story 91. It varies. My bladder sometimes wakes me. A snowplow may be beeping and scraping outside. In summer, heavy-duty lawn mowers and leaf blowers run on and off. Sometimes a tornado siren is being tested. Occasionally, I cannot get comfortable in bed anymore. Story 92. Mainly my children and the knowledge that others rely on me. Story 93. My bladder is always at that stupid time, not when my alarm goes off but after I have fallen into a good sleep. Story 94. My alarm, laughing out loud. But in all seriousness, I would have to say my religion. Story 95. My brain gets me up at 7 o'clock, basically no matter what. Story 96. I am a huge fan of earning enough money to feed myself and my family. It is kind of my hobby. Story 97. Knowing that I only have so many more mornings left to wake up. I am still young, but time is always ticking. Story 98. A combination of muscles, including the abdominal muscles, is involved. Story 99. My kids need to be fed. They have 4 legs each, but they are ravenous and very demanding about the feeding schedule. Story 100. I know that if I give in to depression, as much as it calls to me, it will be the beginning of the end for the future I yearn for. Story 101. I have done literally nothing at this point. I have chosen to rearrange my work schedule and start again on Monday. I have been in bed for the past 4 days, disconnected from most of the world. I chose not to do Thanksgiving anywhere. I stayed in bed and called that my day this year. Story 102. 3 cats that cannot see their dry food in the open insist the only way they will not die at 6 in the morning is if I give them wet food. Story 103. Sadly, I have to go to work to feed my cats. They're cute, though. Story 104. The fear of being broke. Nothing wakes me up faster than responsibility. Story 105. The bladder or my wife sometimes wakes up grumpy. Other times she lets me sleep. Story 106. I joined a Discord server that uses the Miso bot to track a fishing game. Every 2 hours I can fish, and the bot reports a random number of fish I caught. Story 107. Before I go to bed, I take a minute to think about what I will do the next day. When I wake up, while still in bed, I try to remember the plan. That helps me get up and get going. Story 108. My dog is convinced he will cease to exist if breakfast does not hit his bowl at 7 a.m. Sharp. He crawls into my bed and whines in my ear that he is starving. The cats then behave as if the 2020 toilet paper apocalypse has returned because they can barely see the bottom of their automatic feeders set for 7:15 a.m. Then the dog bangs the bells on the door for his urgent morning walk and bathroom break. His usual morning stomp around the neighborhood and his exuberant good morning to every bush, person, and thing we pass. Afterward, he rises from the ashes like a feral phoenix and launches into post-poop zoom eyes that defy both science and reason. At 90 pounds, he is anything but graceful. He ricochets from his dog bed to my bed to his 3 other beds scattered around the house, shaking, squeaking, and violently killing his toys as if avenging a fallen pack member. The cats run with him, trying either to escape or join him, all while I am still making my morning coffee. That is what gets me out of bed. If it were not for my dramatic bunch, truthfully, I would never leave my bed, or I might have killed myself years ago. They think I save them every day from starvation, but really they save me every day. Story 109. Every day I don't work, bills go unpaid, so I drag myself out of bed to pay them. Story 110. The hope that I can climb out of depression and enjoy life again. Story 111. My bunny stares at me until I get up and open his curtain. Story 112. I need to work and go to college, but I want more sleep. Adulting means less sleep. Story 113. Lately it's been tough, but my daughter has definitely been my why since I discovered I was cheated on. Story 114. I am the main earner for my family. My father is over 75 years old, my mother is 70 years old, and my wife is not working. If I slack off, my family's finances will fall apart. A small reminder of this situation gets me out of bed immediately. Story 115. My cat stood on my chest at 5:30 a.m., headbutting me until I fed it. Story 116. I get up to go for a walk along the esplanade at the beach, then have a swim and a coffee. If it is raining and I cannot do that, I cannot get out of bed. Story 117. The only thing that gets me out of bed is earning money. Otherwise, I would happily stay in bed. Story 118. About 20 roosters crowing synchronously. 3 guinea fowls screaming loudly. Sometimes my dog needs something. My bladder does not control me. I urinate and go back to bed as soon as possible. Story 119. I am genuinely a morning person. I have a pleasant ritual. I cook breakfast, sit outside and eat, then do crossword puzzles, write in my journal and read or watch YouTube. Coffee is important too. It's really something. Story 120. The list of things my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder tells me I need to get done right now. Then I get up and do not do them. The to-do list grows, unhelpful life incidents get in the way, and it repeats. I hate feeling like I am wasting any free time when I could be learning, such as watching an educational video. I had been putting off a productive task for months, but I am trying to change. I actually completed a task last night that I had been trying to finish for 28 days. I finished and submitted it on the deadline. I am working to make this a routine habit so I can keep the positive feeling of moving forward when I do tasks I struggle to motivate myself to do. Story 121. It depends on the day. Some mornings it is pure excitement, like I have something fun or meaningful to dive into. Other days it is just the promise of good coffee and a quiet moment before the chaos starts. Sometimes it is simply that my alarm will not stop yelling at me. Story 122. My daughters and my kitties. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Life is hard. Story 123. Cats claim they have not been fed for days, which gets the dogs worked up, and chaos ensues as they chase each other down the stairs. Story 124. I was laid off a few days ago, and I am kind of spiraling. Not gonna lie. I have been trying to brute force my project into a full-time income. I made my first $9.99 yesterday, which was actually $7.90 after Gumroad took its small fee. It is surprising how depressing such small numbers can feel. But here I am waking up early, chopping TikTok videos and refreshing analytics like it is going to magically change in the last 30 seconds. I am trying to stay optimistic, but it is rough. Story 125. My dad died 2 months ago. He lived just long enough to see me earn my master's degree and my teaching license. I have survived 100% of what I have been through so far, and I will make him proud. I am too stubborn to give up, and I want to achieve the dreams he was not able to see. Story 126. The urge to urinate, like a craving for Cocoa Pebbles cereal, occurs at 3:30 in the morning. Story 127. Just the small things. Good coffee, fresh air, and the feeling that, to be honest, maybe today I can make my life a bit better than yesterday. Story 128. My pet bunny starts biting the bars of his cage because he wants to be fed or let out. Story 129. I spend weekdays earning money, while house chores never end on weekends and holidays. Postscript. Because I do the bare minimum, chores pile up until the next non-working day. Story 130. The taste of a fresh cup of Irish tea with a large amount of sugar and milk. Story 131. I swear I'm just in it for the coffee and the inevitable dog drama. What's the point if you don't get paid or your pet dies? Story 132. I could say chickens. The reality is that I look forward to getting up early and the peacefulness of the day. I enjoy the little things, and that is what keeps me going. I have various projects lined up for myself that put the excitement back into my life. Story 133. Survival means having food and shelter and a fear of instability. Story 134. Nothing. Rarely anything, and this makes me sad because I would like to finally have a reason to get up every day. Story 135. I have to work at the age of 67 because my pension does not even pay my rent. Story 136. I know it is boring, but my family is my reason and sometimes breakfast. Story 137. Music literally helps a lot. Because of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, getting out of bed is a nightmare. Story 138. My old uncle Arthur-itis, tells me he will go away if I get up and move. Story 139. Every damn day at 5:30 in the morning my drunk neighbor starts yelling at his wife. Story 140. When working on a ship in the middle of the ocean, I either get up for work or someone pulls me out of bed. Story 141. I was caring for my elderly mother. Now that she has passed, I'm not sure how to answer that question. I have nothing. My family and friends have all passed. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.